We just received some huge Nebraska recruiting news. The Huskers' #1 quarterback target in the class of 2027, five-star Trae Taylor, has moved up his commitment date, and a lot of insiders are saying that Nebraska is now the odds-on favorite to land him. So in today's video, I'm going to give you all of the details that you need to know. When will he now be committing? How do I like Nebraska's odds? What other schools are in the mix? And so much more. This is a loaded update. We have a lot to talk about. Hit that like button if you're fired up. And also, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan, you support what I'm doing here. Daily Husker football content, so much more. Recruiting updates just like this. Hit that subscribe button. Helps me out more than you know. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into it. Nebraska's #1 quarterback target in the class of 2027, Trae Taylor, five-star, has moved up his commitment date. He was previously going to commit in June, about mid-June, early June. He's moved it up to May 1st. May Day will now be Trae Day for the Huskers. Now, again, a lot of things have changed in this Trae Taylor recruiting process over the past couple weeks. If you asked me about a month ago, I would have told you Michigan was the odds-on favorite, no question about it. Okay, he's visited Michigan 10, 12, 15 times, and he's literally been there all the time. He loves Michigan. He loves that program. He's grew up around that program. And he recently visited Nebraska. He went on a tour going to basically all of his top 6 schools. And he said after the Nebraska visit 2 weeks ago, everything changed. He already kind of had in mind what school he was going to go to. And he said that Nebraska visit kind of put a wrinkle in his plan. Said, I got to rethink everything now. He had a really, really good time. He had a good time building a relationship with Matt Rhule, continuing that. He said that this Dana Holgorsen offense fits him to a T, probably fits him better than any other school that's recruiting him. He's building relationships with players on the team. He already said, Dylan Rhule is kind of like a big brother to him. So there's a lot of things working in Nebraska's favor as of recently. Again, Trae Taylor's a guy who is a 5-star quarterback, #11 player in the class of 2027, according to Raiola. It's not 5-star yet, but he'll be bumped up to a 5-star this summer. Phenomenal accuracy, good build, 6'3", 180. Again, just a guy who has the NFL aspirations, super hard worker. Now, if you ask me right now in his recruiting process, we have literally a month left. May 1st is going to be that day. It's down in Nebraska, in Michigan. Illinois is in there. That's the hometown school, but I'm not going to discredit Illinois. They've been great at recruiting recently. Their NIL has been really showing up big time, but I think Illinois is out of it. Texas A&M, they surged a little too late. I think they're out of it. Alabama, there's a couple other schools in there. I think they're all out of it. I think it's Nebraska and Michigan. Those are the 2 schools. Now, there's a couple things it's going to come down to. Let's be honest. There's 2 things that I'm really looking out for. Playing time's 1. And Nebraska has the advantage there because when Trae Taylor enrolls at Nebraska, Dylan Rhule will no longer be in the mix. He's probably going to be off in the NFL. If Trae Taylor commits to Nebraska, he will have an opportunity to play right away. And that's something that he wants. It's something that his family wants. If you go to Michigan, that's not going to be the case because that's going to be the junior year of Bryce Underwood, who's a 5-star quarterback. That's going to be Bryce Underwood's show. So if Trae Taylor goes to Michigan, he's going to have to sit for 1-2 years. If he comes to Nebraska, he's sure going to have to beat out guys like TJ or Dayton Raiola, but he's going to have an opportunity to play. So that's the first thing working Nebraska's favor. Now, NIL is a big thing as well. And I don't know if we can outbid Michigan. Michigan recently threw down a lot of money for Bryce Underwood, record-setting numbers, okay? So I don't know if we can outbid Michigan. I will say this, though. I don't think it's going to come down necessarily to purely NIL. NIL will be a factor. It always is. But it's not going to be, purely an NIL commitment. If it were that way, he'd commit to Texas A&M or he'd commit to LSU. Okay, so I'm not really worried about that. But, I'm already, the thing that I'm focused on right now is building that relationship with him. Again, Matt Rhule, Dylan Rhule, a lot of these recruits are also building a relationship with him. I saw that, he's connected with guys like Jamal Rhule, who's, running back going to commit to Nebraska in the class of 2026. Brian Bonner, Jake Hildebrand, who's a 5-star offensive tackle who's favored to commit to the Huskers. So much more. So he's already building relationships with the coaching staff, with Dylan, with some of the players like Ja'Cory Barney, and then some of the recruits, not only in the class of 26, but in the class of 27, which is his class. So things are looking good. Things are looking good here. Again, we have about 3 weeks. It's going to be Nebraska or Michigan. I feel confident saying that. If you ask a lot of the insiders, the beat reporters, they say Nebraska's surging here. We will see. This is a big-time thing, though. This is huge. You want a cornerstone in class of 2027. You want a generational prospect. I wouldn't say generational, but you want an elite prospect at that quarterback position. You got to get a guy like him. You just got to. That is a cornerstone guy. And you know what's good about getting a guy like Trae Taylor? He's going to recruit other players to come along with him. If you get a 5-star quarterback, you'll get a 5-star offensive tackle. You get a 5-star wide receiver. And then, if you have suddenly if you have a winning season this year, win 9-10 games, you're looking at potentially having a top 10, maybe even a top 5 recruiting class. That should get you fired up, and it all starts with Trae Taylor. So wanted to give you guys that update. A couple other things I want to mention not related to Trae Taylor. I thought this was interesting. Arguably the number one player in the state of Nebraska, Jet Tamala, 5-star or 4-star quarterback. I think he's probably the 3rd best player in Nebraska. He was visiting Ohio State today. Interesting. We'll see if Ohio State offers him. They have not done that so far, but I'm telling you, Nebraska making a bold claim by not offering Jet Tamala. I'm cool with it personally. I made my claim. Like, I'm fine. I'm very familiar with Jet Tamala's game, but he was visiting the Ohio State today. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. And then Darian Jones, things are still looking good for Nebraska. He penned down an official visit to Iowa. It looks like he's going to commit around that 4th of July, around that range. So he's not going to commit just yet, but I think it's going to be pretty much a done deal for Nebraska. He's going to do his due diligence. Darian Jones, 4-star, or should be a 4-star corner coming out of Omaha North, but he's basically down in Nebraska, Iowa. Minnesota's in there, Iowa State, K-State, I imagine, in there too. But feel pretty confident that Nebraska is going to land him when it's all said and done, but he's going to do his due diligence. All right, guys, I want to give you this quick Nebraska recruiting update. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hey, if you made this far on the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go be great. Go, Matt. See you in the next one.